Yo, yo, yo.
We are back again.
Dutch Master here with
Free Sampler.
We're the Plug Gaming
And
live.
we're upgraded today.
Yes.
Can we talk these private mics?
Yeah, we can
Hopefully
talk
it sounds good to you.
these individual, these private mics. He said. Yeah, we got our upgrade on and got some individual microphones like we were used to at the studio we were recording at and whatnot, and we got some of that original feeling back.
Oh yeah.
Going again. We're man down today. No world's best. Rocky, the Rock, OG
He's
Death
off
Dealer.
making some kid cry over the internet.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
probably.
He's,
That's what he
he's,
does
you
best.
know, really giving back to the community.
Yeah, that's what he does best. So.
Create some hardened soldiers in the future.
Right. Yeah, he was trying to explain something about that in last week's episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you go back and listen to it. It's like it's a diamond in the rough. If you clean it up and polish it a little bit,
I mean,
it could be something.
I had a good time last week. Played some
Yeah.
Jedi. Talked
Have
Star
a good time
Wars.
every week.
Talked Mandalorian. By the way, that show is still killing it.
Yeah, that Disney Plus seems to be working out. A lot of people got it for free though, so
Yeah, I didn't get it for free. Well, my roommate got it, so I
they,
guess I got it for free.
that's good for them
Thanks, Jake.
though, because it's like you will give you this service for free for X amount of time. It's like you try it before you buy it type deal, so then you know what you're really getting into, and that actually produces customers for longevity rather than people that are like just trying to watch The Mandalorian
in
and
the
then back
review.
out of it and then back out. You know what I mean?
You are getting a lot with it, a lot. Cause like the night we downloaded it, I watched the first episode of The Mandalorian with my roommate, and then he went to bed. No, he stayed up. We watched Hercules, just cause we had it again.
Yeah.
I see this like
I got kids, so I
Moana
got that.
trailer we got going
Yeah.
on.
I got
like
kids, so I got that.
That's on it. So for kids, like you got everything, but also for you, like you got your whole childhood on there.
You got it for you.
You got
too.
your whole childhood on this service. They've got all the way back to Steamboat Willie. They've got all the classics,
Wow.
some of the remakes, plus like all the Star Wars, all the Marvel. I guess some of it's delayed before it releases, but man, I've watched Flubber this week. I haven't watched Kazam yet, but that shit is on there.
Well, it's like any other streaming service, but it's everything you've loved from childhood.
Yes.
Till current date. So and
But,
then all the future
This
stuff as
just
well.
has
so.
the whole Disney scope.
Right.
Which is
Exactly. Which
God,
is amazing. Now.
It's overwhelming. My brother came to visit one day, and we spent a good hour just looking at everything on there.
yeah. It is overwhelming, and that
But you know what? That means, like,
You
to
know?
me, especially if you can get any of the deals, like Hulu has a deal for it, Verizon has a deal for it. Like, there's a ton of ways to get a deal on Disney Plus, but it is.
trying to get a deal right now.
I
on
mean, you're
Disney
going to get
Plus.
your time worth from it if you use it.
No, I don't use it, but I have all that stuff though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Ha.
That's fair.
If you catch my drift.
And, like, it is having some issues lately where, like, we'll play a thing and it will just, like.
No.
You'll get the screen freeze, but the audio continues playing.
No
and you
streaming
gotta,
applications have
rewind
problems.
10 seconds. And yeah, I know.
Google Stadia, I heard, had just a terrible
man.
launch, terrible reviews,
You know?
stuttery. Which I kind of just, it's like you stream stuff all the time that
You should expect it.
doesn't give you good service off of video, low bitrate video. The bitrate for, not everybody knows this, but when you stream or you broadcast stuff and you put it on the internet, you know about limitations of bandwidth and the bandwidth that's needed and the type of connections that are needed. And, I mean...
In a 5G world.
Yeah, you think about that that's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough, and it on paper it's enough, but when it comes down to sending all the data with the amount of time and everything else, and then you're relying on internet connection, the connection of the local distribution of your internet connection, all those different things, it's like
the one thing you're excuse me. The one thing you're minimizing though is processing, because it's just video. It is just watching video live. You're right. Still have our hiccups. We've still got a lot to
It's
like
not
cover.
just any video.
But
this video needs to come in at a certain frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be better frame rate than what video is at, which is extremely low frame rate. It's actually under 30. It's like 24 or 25 or something like that is like the official rate that a movie shot in. But then they just put that at 30 frames for a standard, so they can standardize things.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk to people in the movie and film industry, they know it's like it's a little bit lower than that, because the eye is not registering so much. Exactly. So like you learn that in video games and graphics cards and everything like that. Like,
but yet
even
in
60
video
frames
games,
is crazy.
You recognize the difference from 60 to 120.
So like Mortal Kombat on Google Stadia played terribly.
Yeah.
Because of the quicker movements, the necessary movement of the character, the backgrounds, all of those things.
The frame rates and the latency.
It was being streamed. All that lighting and all that shit, it ate it up and just tore it to pieces. Like,
so in the videos I've watched, like diving into the how it's running and everything, it sounds like it's a 75 millisecond extra delay on your input lag. And so when
that
you're
translates
playing
to me is looks like shit.
That means the game would work for some things. Say like I'm playing Pokemon, you really don't have to worry
sure,
about something like that.
For sure.
But any fighting game, Mortal Kombat, perfectly, you can't do it. You can't do it with that kind of lag. Is just playing with some shit internet, which no one enjoys.
Right.
And so they do have to overcome that issue. Because they sell their own controller, which sounds like it's okay, but not really worth the value on it. But one thing that the controller offers is that it actually connects directly through your router as opposed to through your computer or your device.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you use their controller, it gives you the opportunity to connect more directly. So like that should lower the lag, the extra latency.
Right.
But that is basically one of the biggest issues right there too.
Yeah.
Is how you gonna fight like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta lead moves
puts it totally in the casual space, and
that's where it's at right now.
If you're trying to emerge into what I would put like handhelds are and mobile gaming is, if you're trying to exceed that, which is what I thought the Stadia was, is their attempt to boost out of the smaller.
They're trying to Fortnite it. You can play it on anything.
Right, exactly.
Phone,
so that needs to be on
Chromecasts.
The largest scale possible. That means it has to be obtainable and easy to use from all walks of life, every demographic. Mm-hmm. And that may work for a portion of the demographic, but for anybody that's playing a PlayStation, playing an Xbox, a Switch, I mean even an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 3, you're happier, Mm-hmm. So it's hard to get those people.
You're right. But
with that, that's what I'm saying.
Let's look where we are in it. It just rolled out.
Yeah, of course.
It is only for the premiere. Well, I'm just sharing,
no,
just
I know.
I just want
to clear up my stance on it as well, though.
It's a good perspective.
It's only casual. It's not right to knock them. It's just to kind of be like, well, you knew that this was going to be a big step, and these things are expected to happen, but maybe it launched a little early. But
so with the launch though, it isn't even really the full launch.
Yeah, right. But they got
anyone who bought the Premier package, where it's like $100 and something bucks, but you get the controller, you even get like a free Chromecast thing that like just hooks you right into Stadia really quick with your TV or whatever you want to plug it in. You shaking that baby?
Yeah, and I didn't even know this.
This is teaching bad parenting lessons. You do not shake babies. I didn't know that
this is not a baby though. This is something that needs to be cleared up because I had issues with that. Dude, it's so much more, and there's a lot goes on with it.
Anyways, on Stadia, like I think it's around March, sometime spring next year. I think is when they plan on releasing the free-to-use version, where you don't have to pay for the service; you're paying for the games.
Right.
And that just limits, like, you can only do up to 1040. If you want to do 4K gaming, you got to buy their service. The Premier package that they got right now gives you a whole bunch of good stuff that makes it better. But it sounds like, this is the issue. I think it's only Premier people that can play right now.
Mm-hmm.
And are people paying for the service? The free service launches later. If you give it that time to wait and then try it for free, they'll probably have a lot of this crap hopefully improved on. But that's, I think we got 6 months for them to really see where it's going. And I think that's when I want to, when they roll out the free version is when you can try it.
Yeah.
And it's probably smart to wait that long because they're going to have to fix some stuff to get there.
Right. Yeah. Very right.
I mean, that's Stadia so far. I'm curious. I mean, years back on our show, I remember talking about, because Xbox was planning to do the cloud streaming with the Xbox One, and that was supposed to be a thing, but it never really took off, and whatever they've done with it so far is not what it's supposed to be. Stadia is what it's supposed to be, except they don't have it working right yet either. But this is that future in gaming. It makes games accessible everywhere and to everyone through so many more facets, and you're not limited by having a TV and having a console or having a PC that can handle it. It is definitely a great future in gaming. And to me, especially for online gaming, as they're trying to do more people in a game or bigger servers, especially for MMOs and stuff.
Yeah.
Your hardware doesn't have to handle it. They have an infinite stackable size server that can handle so much work that you can take gaming into the next level. Because you no longer have to require your consumer to have the technology to handle it. They just need to be able to stream it. So I see that being the future. It's just Stadia's jumping in a little early.
Maybe we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if.
I mean, I'm looking at that from to me a technology perspective. That's what I see as being the most successful future. What's going to happen eventually? I
see it that all these new ideas get rolled in and rolled around, get put into plan, and then eventually get, backtracked to
You're right.
They keep some things and then, eliminate others. Where the streaming thing, I think, will be a part of gaming as it already is, that we see on PlayStation's has a service where they just stream the games, or some games are just streamed, some games you got to actually download.
Yeah.
Where it's a part of it, but it's not what it's about, because when I'll put that an example, cell phones, for instance, they went through this space where they were doing less and only making phone calls, and then they were really big to where they got really small and still only made phone calls. Then they took pictures, then they played music, then they got ringtones, and then they're like, oh, we can have this thing, just hold your whole category of music, either locally or on the cloud, this or that. But they got really small.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, they started getting really big again.
Yeah.
And they're realized okay, well we just gave you this screen.
Though.
Yeah, but
now you have a screen that.
But you had a smartphone that was smart, that was still small at one point.
Yeah.
And then they started getting bigger because they realized, well, why do we put all this shit on here for the screen
and
then give you this tiny screen?
Now they're so big, they're basically becoming tiny tablets more than what phones are. That's what they are now. So now they took it to the watch. So then they made it to the watch, so you can
so it's integrated
do all
into
the little
stuff off
the watch, and the phone can remain huge and go in your bag or your pocket.
But my whole point is that you'll get some parts. LED lighting is another one too, where they just incorporate LEDs into what the previously was used.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of both, where it's not this new age looking light with this heat sink on it and all this extra stuff. It's just a couple LEDs put into a normal looking incandescent fixture.
Yeah.
Where they take kind of both of those, the old and the new, and mix them. So I'm thinking that that's probably what we'll be getting along with that line too, where you can't
they'll
solely
still sell a box to you.
You can't solely rely on just streaming when you want the cutting edge video games that are going to be coming out in the next couple years, this year, next year, and the ones after. the stuff is only going to get more and more fierce, and it's going to be harder for all of those things that we previously talked about.
It's that line of like, how good's the game
Right.
versus how
So
well
I think
can
you get
stream
a
it?
bunch of indie games that are streamed there through the service that cuts their cost. It works well for indie developers where they don't have to put any extra money in building a package or something to deliver. And then it also favors the capacity of the console or the system itself for streaming. And then they'll have to figure out some way or option to where, you can get those same AAA great titles that are going to come through that, like, literally they're going to be just movies in a couple of years. Like,
I think that'll just be the line, but I
So,
think
like,
that's like just be the line between serious gamers like we are
right,
when it
where
comes
they're
to
not
something
going to
we're
be able to
into
actually merge
versus
that world.
casual gaming.
Right.
But casual gaming can cover a very wide spectrum
For
of
sure.
people, and a lot of those games
you can put
I
all the
think
Mario
will do-
games, all
Yeah.
the Mario games, all the Mega Mans, all this type.
But see,
those
I think
types.
like a Call of Duty. I know we're not there yet, but that's the kind of game
at
that
a playable frame rate, though, I don't know.
But that's I don't. I'm saying we're not there yet. I'm saying the
even know if
goal
we will
is,
be there.
and that's where I'm saying is like the future. I
Yeah.
think we'll get there, but it is a matter of like game quality. So like a 4K game is harder to stream than a 1040 game. So
yeah,
it's like it's that
more than
it's that
100%.
quality versus stream rate thing. Like how much bandwidth do you need, and what can we really handle? But I think we're on a cusp of taking things to next further. Come on, Elon Musk, make that whatever that is.
He's
Starlink, make it work.
he's
He's got that truck now.
he's got the truck and it's in Cyberpunk.
The number of
It's gonna be in Cyberpunk.
Oh, of course it is. The number
he-
of references to Lara Croft's boobs from like the original Tomb Raiders and that truck has been memes everywhere.
Yeah. But we don't know if that's actually true. There was just some Twitter stuff, and we're hoping that it's true. It seems like there's some stuff leading towards that it may be true.
But man, hey,
But I hope it is really
140,000 or something pre-orders already. Good job, man. Good job with that crazy
Yeah, that's
shit.
how he makes money.
Congratulations on making crazy work. I love it.
He did the same thing with the flamethrower, and he made millions of dollars.
He's not a
basically,
flamethrower.
but he basically ensured that he would sell them.
Yeah.
Before he offered them, knowing that the design and this and that and the parts and all that stuff needed to build them and the lead time, he just built that all into his system, got them pre-purchased, then built them, and then sold them and like fucking just
And now what's that guy doing? He's on a
quadruple
recent episode of Rick and Morty.
There's not even I
He's
don't
at
even
the
know.
top.
For
He's
the,
at the top.
yeah, for the percentage of his markup, I don't even know what the number is. Like, the number's non-existent, okay? He made a lot of fucking money off of nothing. And it's a great idea.
It's a cool truck.
And no, I'm just talking about the base of this guy's work where
yeah.
it all just starts back to where he was just doing whatever. They didn't have a lot of funding, and they made flamethrowers.
I'm a humongous fan of him. So
And,
I have friends that work for
Of course.
his companies in various places, and like I am such a fan of like I follow that guy's work, but
Yeah.
like that truck, as crazy as it is, has a lot of cool technology you get about it.
Looks weird.
I have you know what my boss got a Tesla, and it is such an awesome car.
Yeah, they look
As
really
long as you
cool.
can charge it at home.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What does that
car.
take to be able to just charge it at home? You
I
need a
think it's like
fit?
the
You need to
equivalent
get
of
some
like
fittings?
what is it, the 220?
Oh, you just need a 220 port?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And like
so nothing serious. So
it's no, it's not
basic
ridiculous.
basic electrical work.
Mhm.
Someone who's knowledgeable.
Costs
could do it at their
significantly.
home-
Like
could do it
my
themselves
boss
at
was
their
able
home.
to have power
Small
run
fee.
to her garage,
Yeah, exactly.
so that she could charge it.
right. So it's a small fee to electrician. He
Yeah.
hooked up a couple cords, did it. It's really
And
not a big job.
They
to
got a
get
deal
240
going
in your
on
home.
where like because another friend of ours got like one of our clients actually got a Tesla because she got one, and because of the referral thing, they got like $1,000 of free charges at the Tesla charging ports wherever.
Oh, nice.
And like, it's just you really bottom out the cost of gas when you get to there.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we're here about games.
No, I love it. We're games and technology, man. That's
Oh,
what it's
yeah.
all about, bro.
Oh man, Elon
It's
Musk.
all about, bro.
The guy who's real life Tony Stark making life a video game. I love it.
Yeah, and all of his cars can play video games.
All of his cars can play video. He's talking
Built
to
in.
the depth of like, because it's just a computer. He's
Built
like,
in.
you can make your car make fart noises as the engine noise if you wanted.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do. Wonderful. Yeah.
Where
do you go from there?
What is hard to do is understand that this
understand Death Stranding.
Death Stranding
entirely.
has a interview from 3 years ago, from whatever the current date is in Death Stranding, which I think they like
an asexual world.
Yeah, basically they're saying that the world moves into an era where people are living a sexless life,
That's
and it's
boring.
funny that and they're self-identifying as
Pan-romantics.
asexual, claiming to be incapable of feeling desire or attraction. Accordingly, such individuals were less likely to have children or engage in sexual activity. Wow, that's profound. A lot of unique sexual identities came to rise because of this. Demisexuals. Ooh, demisexuals who are incapable of sexual attraction without an emotional connection. Whoa. It's got to get on an emotional level.
How
for
deep
me.
are you getting on the lore in this game, or have you?
It's got to get really emotional for me.
Yeah, shit's
To be into it.
You said this story got really emotional.
No, it got emotional for me, and it just. I mean, you didn't. You also said you didn't want any spoilers. So
oh yeah, we don't want to do major spoilers,
It's all major spoilers, like I explained. It just
you don't know what you're doing till the end.
They
I think
don't.
That was
I mean, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, but you don't know why, or that like you. Even since a kid, they show you early in the game, like you are connected to this person, Bridget Strand, your mother, and their and your sister, and the beach and like what these people are all going through. You're part of it from a young age because you have this thing called dooms, which allows you to feel like the Death Stranding people, the not the people, but the ghosts, the lost souls that haven't made their way to the other side.
Yeah.
And
you're a psychic.
So you have this like weird feeling about like all these pieces not belonging, and the story just kind of just really continues on that, but it never gives you any solid understanding of any of this stuff like that you're questioning. And it's not just you, like the player, it's actually the character in the game that is questioning all this shit as well.
You're learning it as
but he never speaks up about it or anything. It just goes with the flow of like how things are.
Even where this game starts, you're like pissed off that you're doing anything for these people.
Yeah.
They trap you into the network.
Right.
They trap you into doing this job.
Exactly.
You have lost all hope in government.
Yeah, and that comes to fruition at the end where you like, kind of do the opposite and do your own thing. Once you're done with their jobs, and that's like really like the ultimate end thing of it. So technically, for the end game in this game, you go back 2 weeks before the end.
Okay.
And you kind of just
so it's kind of like Breath of the Wild, where even though you finish the game, the point you play the end game at is
in the end of the game you
ended.
walk away from it. At the end of this game, you walk away from it all, and that's not even like a great spoiler. Like you're over the shit, and the reasons why, not just because you're tired, you're tired and all that other shit, but the things you find out at the end, are just so fucking devastating and crucial.
Damn.
That.
Yeah, I'm out.
Your ultimate choice is so much greater.
I'm out of here. Washing my hands.
Than what it is. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The story is fucking amazing. However, I can understand where people would, the walking simulator, this and that. Like literally, it felt like a fucking job. But it was a job that I wanted to go to and do really well. So it's really weird how somebody was trying to say, like, I was telling them, I was like, man, like, it just feels like a job. And they're like, yeah, I was like, but I'm addicted. They're like, yeah, well, the game's giving you objectives for you to carry out and do. I was like.
And you get a sense of accomplishment.
That's every video game ever made. If that was the premise of the game, then every single game would be the exact same. No shit, it has an objective, and that's why I'm fucking trying to carry it out and finish it. Like, but you don't. It's like you're going vast distances on foot over gnarly terrain, hitting all kinds of buttons just to fucking stay balanced.
Yeah.
And like, it gets repetitive, and you're like doing the same. You know, it's not really the same thing over, but it can get. But like, if you treat it properly and do other things, you get this nice mix. But if you go for the grind, it's really grindy, and you got to have that grinder's spirit, you know.
I think what you've expressed and what like you can see in the lore, that's this game is about discovering the story.
It really
and
is.
so like you're walking shit places if you want to water it down to its most basic level, but the thing is, it's the fact that you're delivering a pizza to this guy.
If you
and
there's
a side mission
right,
where you deliver
exactly.
pizza, but
yeah,
like
but you get that, and then that is like, if you look for the reward or the sense of accomplishment in the wrong places in this game, you'll be upset.
Yeah,
we were talking about it before. Like, the people you're doing the work for make you feel like shit no matter what. If you listen to the people that are receiving the benefit of the work that you're doing, you start to realize, like, oh, okay, like, dude, this is a fucking
hero.
interesting, and this is an interesting part of the story for these people.
Mm-hmm.
So let me progress their story a little bit further and do more work with them.
Yeah,
and find out about their little isolated life amongst this whole world that I'm connecting. And then, like, ultimately, this whole fucking game is just about
making connections,
being together, not being alone in, you know, even
to
when
the
the
point where that's what the
craziest.
that's what the like multiplayer aspect of this is online, is
Right.
helping each
Every
other build
aspect of
society
the
up
game.
from the beginning.
Every aspect
This
of
is
the game.
and like that's what is cool about it, is that the reason, you know, it feels like that's what your job is, that's what you're doing.
I can't
and
even
it's like
say what
discovering the stories between the people is that you are literally building these connections back. It is the post-apocalyptic place where
Social
literally your job is to walk everywhere again,
because they
just
can't.
so people can
because
recommunicate.
they can't. They literally can't. They don't. You have dooms. This is what makes you so special. You have dooms, and people literally can't go outside, because if you get caught in this timefall storm, you'll age dramatically. There's a word for it. And then also there's the Death Stranding, the BTs, which are these souls that, since the Death Stranding show up, gosh, it's just making me think about all of the things that these BTs are really are. But basically, as they show up,
of the BT.
yeah, well, we can do a brief history. But basically, as they show up and they kill people, when people start dying, they're trapping their souls. And what it's doing is it's trapping the souls, no matter what, like good, bad, or whatever. And then they stay, and like that's the thing. They're not really evil. They're not really trying to kill you. They're more like tormenting you, because they're being tormented themselves because they can't go where they need to go.
Those are the
So
like,
they're stuck
people
there. Those
in
are the
mud,
the
like
yeah
when
the-
it surrounds
exactly,
around you,
exactly.
and they're like
Right, exactly. Those are all just considered BTs, or as like an entirety, the Death Stranding. So
that's those bodies connected by all those veins.
what goes down to this tar, they literally take it back to the extinction of the dinosaurs and 4 other extinctions that actually really happened
And this is what
in
did
the
it?
world. Exactly. The
Whoa.
BTs are somehow combined to these 6 different Death Strandings, which are extinctions. And what we're experiencing is the 6th extinction that wipes out, because, you know, we're the newest species. No, well, not all life, but at
The
first it
dominant
did
species.
crustaceans and the simple cell single organisms. The next were I can't remember exactly, but it's like low level, like amphibians, reptiles, dinosaurs,
Mm-hmm.
And
Each period.
right, exactly. And
Cretaceous,
so there hasn't been one, a serious one,
the
since
Mesozoic era.
yeah,
like
exactly.
All these
It goes back on all of them and dates
cycles
it
that
through
have
the
happened in
strata
Earth's
and
history.
everything through
That's
the
cool,
Earth
though.
strata. Yeah, it's
I like
really
I
interesting.
like that they're taking this story and they're like
And-
fitting it in that
and
well.
they
Because
date
this
the
game's big
tar.
on learning the
Yeah.
history as you're playing through it.
So they date the tar and all that stuff, and then the tar from the dinosaurs. You know what I mean? They tie all this weird shit together to make it like a pretty legit theory. And they even talk like Big Bang stuff and all kinds of.
So in
all
like a
kinds of
few
stuff.
million years, when like the next civilization is around, they're going to be digging humans
Oh, yeah.
out of the tar,
Yeah.
and they're going to be like,
So they drop in. Like one time they drop in like, you know, this even that you stop this, you can't stop the sixth extinction. So it's like if it's today, if it's tomorrow, whatever, it's happening. All you're doing is fighting for another day.
yeah.
You know, and that's why the big slogan for this is tomorrow's in your hands.
So move to Mars.
You know, so it's
Join Dr.
the
Manhattan.
story is what this game is about, and it's moving that realm. It's moving into that realm that we've said before on the show. There's going to be this transition where video games start bleeding and merging into other genres of entertainment. And this is blending a movie and a video game into one. It has enough
Hey, they tried that with
quality.
Final Fantasy 13.
They have enough quality movie-esque like CG parts. It's all motion captured with real actors, with some incredible actors, not just Norman Reedus. There's a slew of other really, really good actors. Mads Mikkelsen is in it, and there's some couple of I don't want to. Yeah, I can't remember them all right now, but
it's very you're right. It's very cinematic in the production.
Yeah, so you get these like beautiful cinematic parts that are like spread really nicely through the game. You get these really great soundtrack that plays through the game, and every time you're wondering like, damn, this is actually pretty good, like chill, mellow music. Who is this? Boom! It shows up on the screen, tells you who it is. Like you're like, oh,
Hell
perfect.
yeah.
You can go back and play those same tracks. You can play the tracks at your built structures. You can have certain track played for when people show up.
I think there's like a couple of there's like some
There's
really weird
holographics and stuff that you can put up. They incorporate a lot of Sony Santa Monica other games. So Horizon Zero Dawn, the holographics are incorporated into that. So
I saw that.
really great. Where there's just this bleed through of other video games, movies, actors, great filming, like actual filming, the shots, the way that they filmed a certain part, how they capture the whole vibe of it. There are some other video game, kind of things too, where just one thing transitions to another, where you're like, okay, damn, I was just in like the craziest battle ever, and then I just wake up like it's ends and is over, and you just wake up on the side of the road somewhere. You're like, okay.
Oh.
I was like, you had all this great movie and interactive stuff, but when this part comes to an end, you're just like, fuck it, he'll just wake up on the side of the road, and we'll just say, that was the Death Stranding. So like, there's some parts where it's still very video game, and they kind of just like, okay. But
they incorporate it into a real-esque world, which
but
is
the
cool. They
story,
tie it to the real world.
Exactly,
in cool
but the
ways.
story of this is through and through, where you get it delivered a certain way that it keeps you coming back.
So it's the kind of game. Do you think that people are going to be discovering new things in a month, or do you think that people are going to be building new things in a month? Okay, so they're going to continue adding to the world.
It seems like it might be prepped for a DLC the way that they went, oh, you're going 2 weeks back.
Okay.
Because they gave you a finalizing moment and then gave you the 2 weeks back thing.
Okay.
Right? They gave you a real concrete moment.
Like Destiny,
but then
Forsaken.
They also leverage.
We're going to reset.
Yeah, they also leverage that you're a repatriate, which you can come back from death. They also express that in a way you discover this other portion about you, and they discovered it too, that you have a beach, which is this place that you're supposed to go when you die, is your beach. But since he's got dooms, he can actually visit beaches without dying because he can dabble both those worlds. Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing why he's a repatriate too and can come back from death.
So let me ask you this.
It gets it gets crazy.
I see you have a baby there. Is that the same baby?
Yes.
He's still doing okay. That's good to hear. I'm happy.
So really,
because they wanted to throw that baby out in the beginning. That's the first thing,
dude. That's what I mean.
Let's
that's what I'm talking about.
Let's not even get into that bit. Do you want to get? I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about. Baby.
Sounds deep.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
The baby.
But the baby is a key role in the understanding of your life as well.
That's cool.
It really just full circles you in the end.
I mean, even how it comes into your life, how it works, how you're like the one that's like, I'm gonna keep it.
Well, but and then you find out that he's one of the only, they call him BBs, but I just say baby. But he's one of the only, because it's not a baby. Like that's what they try to say. It's a tool, this or that. So much more gets so much more. Like I said, full circle. It gets fucking all wrapped up at the end. You end up understanding everything.
Well, BTs, BDs,
but
BBs.
It's a tool, and so but it's a tool that only works with someone who has dooms. All the other BBs are meant to work with regular people.
Yeah. Well, you're not supposed to, like David said at the beginning, you're not supposed to work with one of these.
Right, because I'm supposed to have this sense of them myself, except for the way.
It's supposed to be a problem to be working together.
My issue is that I have dooms, but it's not as severe or as good of a case as a lot of people, because like the other guy that I fight all the time has dooms, but he can summon BTs because his dooms is so strong. Mine is so weak, I can only sense them, I can't even see them. So that particular BB helps me do that.
And that
see
guy,
the BTs, this and that.
Tweak things for you specifically. I remember as well.
Right, he goes into a lot of stuff, and that's cool. One of those things where I mean, like, you're always skeptical about it, and in the game you are too. And then like they finalize that part too, and kind of give you, like, okay, hey, this is actually a good dude. He's not, even though he's made up of cadavers, he's okay.
Let me ask you this, because you've been now, on last week talking about this game. You were like all about building things. You're involved in this. Like you find your name on this stuff.
It's all been ruined.
It's all been ruined?
Yeah.
Like people just destroyed it?
No, people don't destroy it. The Timefall destroys it. The game destroys it. Okay, that makes
sense now.
So
you have to continuously rebuild.
So I don't do it. People do it. So I haven't gone back and done it, but it gives me a notification when all the stuff gets done. And it lets me know if anything's been absolutely ruined, and nothing's been absolutely ruined because people have been putting stuff in there. But it tells me, like, it's starting to get ruined. Yeah, it's
okay,
like,
so that's reason to continue traveling around. Is you're
and they got way more roads. I got way more roads and everything.
That means probably some people are going to be like, well, I really like this area of the map, so I'm going to just stay here and
you
just
can
continue making
area
this the best.
Right.
And some people are like, I'm going to travel the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to go all over the place. I'm going to fix this road. I'm going to invest in this community. That's cool. See,
so like I still have all this lost cargo that I found and just didn't want to take with me to go take and deliver.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff.
That's interesting. Well, that's good to know. I'd like to get back into it.
Oh, and
really
you get rocket launchers,
to do
and
stuff.
you
Okay,
get
so you got like real weapons out. But you can't
grenade
kill
launchers.
people, I thought.
Oh, that changes.
Can you kill people?
That changes.
Ooh.
And then all your weapons just get multiple options of, the degree of damage they do.
Nice.
So you get riot guns, riot shotguns.
Is that what that 1, 2, 3 is? I see on the right.
Like
right
in
next
a
to the letter?
sense, for some of them, yeah. So it's like a assault rifle level 3 can do multiple sets of ammunition.
Okay. Or is that assault rifle's level 3.6? Is that what that's saying, or what's that 3.6?
That's the weight of it.
Oh, okay. I always forgot about weight in this game.
Oh yeah, super important.
How much can you carry right now? 130 kilograms.
130 kilograms.
What happened to that exoskeleton?
With no skeleton attached, so I could put the power on, but I'd be using all terrain.
That's interesting because you could carry 120 at the start of the game.
Yeah, because it's not you; it's the gear you get for everything. It's always the gear.
So you're not even wearing the gear right now?
No, I have nothing on because literally it gets to the point where you have to choose, sometimes you choose not to take gear
Okay.
because you have to carry a body and you have to carry it over snow. So you can't wear your power skeleton. You got to wear your all-terrain. You can't bring any extra weight because you are going to be going through the snow, and if you fall or this or that, tons of things. So you can hold like 250 with the power skeleton.
That's
and
cool.
that can increase because you can get power skeleton level 2, level 3, da-da-da. So that's how that increases.
Do you have little robots following you yet?
Myself, yeah, of course. Myself personally, what you gain is like the ability to stay stable. You know what I mean? Like you could stabilize easier. That's something that stays with him. So like you can hold your balance better, but you can't carry any more weight. You've been doing this for fucking 6 months and you haven't gotten any stronger.
I mean, like, I think you'd be jacked at this point.
So like as you can see,
all
my stuff is in here.
Miles
And then like I have all this old shit that I don't need. Let's take a second. One of those.
I can see all this item management still happening. So, all right. BTs, BBs.
BTs, BBs.
What about BD1s?
BD2s. No, I'm just
Is
kidding.
there really BD2?
No.
Oh, man, I'm blown away. BD1 was Jedi, though.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. You said
We
you haven't
could
been
play
playing so
that.
much?
I have it on here, but I don't have the save file, so we'd just basically be playing the same thing.
No worries. We don't have to play it again. We played it last week. If you guys want to check out, we played a lot of that last week. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I haven't gone too much further than that. I've been mostly playing Pokemon, but
Pokemon.
that game.
So yeah,
is
what's up with
incredibly
Pokemon?
fun. Are we in
finished?
Pokemon right now?
We could do
All right.
whatever you want, bro.
I don't know. I wanna get deep in Pokemons, but I think I got some shit to say on Jedi so far. You said you do too.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing this, but I
You're
did
right.
play Jedi.
I've been
and
playing
I
a
did play
bit of
little
Jedi.
bit of Pokemon. I played the least amount of Pokemon.
And I've been playing a shitload of Pokemon.
So this is actually the original. Sorry, this is the original place we started.
Yeah, I remember this
and
spot.
there's nothing here.
Now there's a ton of shit. There's that bridge over there. There's whatever that satellite thing is.
So you can't do the auto pavers in this area. So this is how you got to get by real
all terrain. Good thing you brought your
rudimentary.
motorcycle.
But see these guys. So people built all these. I don't have to do this.
You can just
So we
ride
built
that
it right
stuff.
into a rock. But the whole point is on this game is with your end game at least. Because this is like hit or miss whether this stuff will be there during your current game because it's going to be based off of have you gotten the network up, this or that, right? And have you connected with certain people? How strong is their connection? This or that. So, and those are little neat things too. This is you can tether this to another spot, and then it's a zip line.
Oh, nice.
For you and your
I've seen a
gear.
couple of those, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a tour of the new America.
yeah, so they have that. To be honest, I don't know. I don't like this area, so I don't have
Can you
much
fast
going
travel
on.
places?
I can, but I need to go back to where I was at.
You said you can?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
So
How about just cruising your way home?
yeah, I'll just cruise my way. Fine. Forget about it.
And I'll talk about this wonderful other game where I'm traveling around, Pokemon. Yeah, so I've put a ton of time in on Pokemon. I finished the main story. Even after the credits, there's still more story to go. There's stuff to discover. We're finding shit. There's these weird brothers I gotta do this whole thing with.
That sounded weird.
They're these like I don't know rich assholes who like want to step in and take over on some shit. But it's like a post credits whole storyline. I still haven't even caught the like wolf thing yet. The Zacian for mine since I have Pokemon Sword. But I did catch the legendary from the story that's like Eternatus, which is awesome.
Nice.
It's a dragon poison type, which is cool. There's a lot of really cool poison types in this game. There's a lot of cool bug types in this game. But like, all right, I had a blast playing through the story. They got a cool layout. They got the wild area is awesome. I had a lot of fun playing through things. That scales better than other games in terms of difficulty. Like for once, it's like you're battling people and these gym leaders If they've got a water-type Pokemon and you're going at it with grass, that Pokemon probably has a fire-type move or an ice-type move.
Right.
That'll, so they have counters to their counters. It makes it a great game.
Yeah.
It's actually a challenge to finish it.
Right.
But now that I'm, but it's, of course, it's like kind of a childish,
It's still
little
Pokemon.
simple story. It's
Right.
Pokemon. Your kid is going around. I'm a big fashion guy in like video games. I like making my characters look how I want to make them look and everything. This one is pretty limited, but it has some really cool stuff. I just really hope they add more.
I mean, you had a hell of a time with Destiny, so
you're right.
doesn't
I
get
was
much more limited.
I was very lucky in Destiny to have everything and all those shaders. But yeah, this game's a bit limited, but you can have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of cool stuff, and like but like to me, okay, the first store you reach was had the best stuff, all the way up until like almost the end of the game. The last 2 stores have some pretty cool things.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, I could see myself still using like the base bag that you get and shit like that. All right, anyways, fashion. I care too much about that crap. End game, when you get there, is at the moment one of my favorites in Pokemon. They have streamlined all the stupid crap that you are usually like when you want to try and like give someone eggs and breed a Pokemon, and you got to walk around and like hatch it and all that. You can direct fly to where the things are. They've like streamlined how easy it is to like get Pokemon eggs, being able to leave things there. It's just everything's a simpler process, so you can just mass produce eggs until you hatch the one that you want to have. They have these things in the wild area that's called the Rotom Rally, which is like a race you do on your bike, and it's a little mini game where you're like running across the map. You're going through like little time zones and speeder little bubbles and things, which is a fun thing. But then it like gives you something to do while you're hatching stuff. At this point in the game, everything I come across is level 60, so it's already high enough level to compete in things. You unlock the battle tower just like in previous Pokemon games, but in this one, like, so everything's already balanced to level 50 in this one. There's a good tier ranking system of like working your way up with some practice ranks, and it's like once you complete that, you get up to like you fight Leon the champion again, and then once you beat him, it's like you can progress up, but you also go down in rank when you lose and stuff.
Okay.
It's a whole battle tower. Every Pokemon is leveled 50. All of yours are balanced out there. You can rent teams now, and then you earn battle points where you can buy a bunch of shit. But the big things you can buy besides moves are like you can buy the move Belch.
Nice.
Consume a berry, and it's a stupid amount of power.
It's part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of the show.
But you can buy... So, Pokemon in these games now have natures. Have you worked with the natures much?
No.
So, like, every Pokemon has a nature now.
Oh, yeah,
It could be timid, it could be
yeah.
calm.
No, they had that.
And they'll
last
all
one.
lower
yeah.
one stat and raise another. Yeah, they've been in previous
Right.
Pokemon games. But what
Yeah.
you can buy in this is you can buy these mints that you can give any Pokemon whatever nature you want. So if you're doing the egg hatching game, you can hatch the one you want, like base stat wise, or if you care about IVs, you even unlock a thing that'll judge your Pokemon and how good their initial values are. There's ways to like breed those initial values down.
Damn,
you go get some
judging
Dittos.
Pokemon.
Yeah, you can get some Dittos, so it's easy to like make eggs of the specific Pokemon you want. And then like these mints will give it whatever nature, so it'll grow in that way that you want. So it's very easy to do, and so as you get into the end game, it makes it very easy to get into competitive. A lot of the original grind isn't that so much anymore, so that you can get a Pokemon up to competitive level very easily. When you do, I've been out in the wild area a bunch. I'm having a ton of fun there, and I'm having a ton of fun doing the raids. That's what a big game becomes right now in the end game, is you can go get these raids to get these special drop higher stat Pokemon. You get a ton of items from doing it, and you also get EXP candies.
Nice.
We're used to rare candies,
Rare
right?
candies, right.
One level right away. These, you just amass a whole bunch of these EXP candies, where like the XL EXP candy does 30,000 XP, where it'll take something from level 1 up to like 30.
Right.
And
That's like the old power farm where you just
and yeah,
bring
so
them
what
into
they
your
did-
bring them into your party, go fight some crazy Pokemon, and like Next thing you know,
And so now you can do that in the wild area, but you can power farm with the candies. The Dynamax raids are a lot of fun. Where like, when you're doing a Dynamax raid, you are going into a fight with 4 people against one of these giant Pokemon, and that giant Pokemon is Dynamax level, more health. After certain points, they'll actually bring up shields to protect them, where you have to do just hits, knock off ticks on the shield, and when you break the shield, their stats drop, so you can kill them easier.
Nice.
Only one of the 4 people can Dynamax their Pokemon, and they only get 3 turns, but this one's Dynamax the whole time. That actually alternates turns of who gets to go. So, like, if it's your turn and you have a chance and you don't use it, you have to wait 4 turns before you could have a chance, and only one person can Dynamax per raid.
Oh, wow.
If that thing knocks 4 of your Pokemon out, because once yours gets knocked out, you're out for a turn, and then you can bring them back with full health.
Okay.
But if that thing knocks out 4 Pokemon, then it runs.
Oh, wow.
And if you don't beat it in 10 turns, it runs. So it's like, it's a great challenge. Some of the shit gets hard. If you're going in solo, it gives you CPU players that most of the time suck, especially if you're doing these like 5-star highest tier raids.
Right.
So you want to go online, and it's actually really easy to like post stuff online so people can join. The servers are just a little wonky right now with being able to actually find each other sometimes, but you can just find people's raids and join in on them. And then you can get 4 actual players online. It's very easy. And that's the best way to beat these things. Like, you just need players to get in. Great challenge. And then after you defeat it, you get a chance to catch it. So
to catch it. So
they've busted out.
They haven't guaranteed a...
No, especially these like 5-star ones. Like that Scrafty I caught right before the show. Like, that being a 5-star and I got it was awesome. And because it's 5-star, it's going to have higher stats. So its base values. And so like you can just continue running these, finding these rarer drops, these better versions. There is a difference between Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing.
Mm-hmm.
The only way only certain Pokemon have Gigantamax forms, and the only way they can do that is if you catch one that can do it. So you have to catch them from these raids. This shit is great. And then so now I'm in the post game. I haven't even gotten to the rest of the story yet. I've been having a ton of fun, just riding the bike around. I have a shitload of coughings right now in my boxes because coughing. I have 10 of them because I was just running eggs, hatching them. You can basically, if you use the nursery in the wild area, you could just pick up an egg. You leave your Pokemon with the Ditto, and then you bike that egg on one of those. There's a guy standing right there that'll start the Rotom rallies. You can do any of the distance races. When you get to the end of the race, the egg hatches. Nice. Some Pokemon do take longer, like a Duraludon or like some of the rarer ones. But egg hatches, you bike back. You can even do a Rotom rally right back. And then that's usually long enough for them to make another egg. And so you can just keep running that till you get the one with the stats you want. I've got my Gallade, which is the alternate evolution of Ralts, which usually becomes Gardevoir. But so you can use a Dawnstone to evolve it into Gallade if you have a male one, and he's Psychic Fighting type, which I'm having a ton of fun with. That one I've built to he does Hypnotize, so he can put shit to sleep. Dream Eater, so he gains health and does damage while they're asleep.
Nice. He's a dream.
He has what is his other one? Zen Headbutt for a physical psychic attack, and then Drain Punch for a fighting attack that absorbs health also. So my Gallade, awesome fighter. The other one I'm running is the Coughing and Wheezing. The Galarian Wheezing is Poison Fairy type. Cool, unique build. Has great stats. Pretty good stats. It's not the best in the game, but they're very good, and he's got a lot of versatility, being the fairy poison class. For me, he can do toxic and shit like that. He's got aromatherapy, so he clears anyone's status conditions on the team. And then
nice. Aromatherapy.
Yeah, it's funny. They actually have a lot of really cool specialty moves for each of the Pokemon. So he has what is it? Steam something. that's a fairy type move. He's got his self-destruct stuff that he still learns. It's sweet.
Nice, man. Sounds like you're having a hell of a time.
Great game. It's so once you beat the game, it's very easy to get into competition play. Like if you want to be competitive and you want to battle people online and stuff, it's a very easy entrance. And the battle tower is a great way to practice it because it already balances everyone out. Yeah, I'm excited to see more. I'm excited to finish the story. You know we're going to get special events and stuff. And through, like, the Dynamax raids, which is a lot of fun, you're going to see cool, Pokemon that'll be the only way really to get them.
Yeah.
A good example is, so there's always those innate abilities that characters can get. And some of them have hidden abilities. One of them is, one I'm really looking forward to is one of the starters. You remember Scorbunny, the little rabbit, fire rabbit?
Right.
Stays a pure fire type. But Cinderace, one of its abilities is, what the hell's the name of it? Like Libero or something like that? Whatever move it uses, it changes type to that move.
Oh, wow.
Until it uses another attack. So it doesn't matter that it's a fire type. Whatever you can teach it.
Right.
Awesome. Also, it's like specialty move is Pyro Ball. That's like a vicious fire attack, and he like kicks this little pebble on like his feet that ignites in fire, and then he kicks it at them. Shadow Ball. He also does a cool like kick animation and stuff, and he learned Shadow Ball, which means he could switch into a ghost type.
That's legit.
It's a dope thing, but you can't even get one yet. The only way you'll be able to get it is through a raid, and you can't even find Cinderaces in raids just yet. So, like, this game is going to expand. There's going to be more. I hope they continue to add more Pokemon like they've done in every other Pokemon game. But, like, shit is awesome. All the things that were annoying grinds in older Pokemon games feel a lot more streamlined now. You've got a lot more freedom of how you can develop a Pokemon. So if you are trying to breed for more competitive ones, it's a lot easier. You're only looking for those core IV values because you can give it any nature you want. You can level it up fast.
Right.
Perfect. They even have through the battle tower, there's something you can buy that'll change their ability. So maybe that'll be a way with Cinderace that you could get that other ability. But it costs like 50 battle points, and you earn 2 for every win. Yeah. Which starter did you pick? Which starter did you pick in Pokemon? Grookey? Okay, that's where I started. I like him, but I don't think he's even going to be on my teams anymore. Except I now have so much box space. I've been starting to build. I've got gym teams. I'm doing like
Are
type
any of the
specific gym
starters
teams.
on your team?
In the end, right now, no.
Yeah. So.
But I am making like gym specific teams, so I'll put the starters in those that I have. I only have Scorbunny and who becomes Cinderace, and then Grookey, who becomes Rillaboom. Rillaboom with his like big old drum. He literally like carries a drum on his back, throws it down. He's got a whole drum set.
Okay.
There is a Pokemon band in this game that is all Pokemon with Rillaboom on like drums, and they've got like 2 guitarists and a singer. It's funny. Yeah. I'd say I'm hyping pretty much on this. I'm playing Pokemon all the time. I take the train right now a lot, so I've been playing on there. There was even like a stranger that was playing their Pokemon game on their Switch on the train, and since we were both on local and close enough to each other, their little thing would like pop up on my screen with the little stickers to show me that they just caught something, or they want to do a trade, or they're jumping into a raid, and I could join their raid. So the game handles the whole linking better than anything else. They do have bugs they got to work out, but it's a ton of fun. Here now. These are those that rebel class?
Yeah, the terrorists. They're gonna steal a vehicle. Get up in their stash box.
But they don't explode when you kill them? Or they all just go to sleep?
These are sleep grenades.
Oh, nice. nice. Sleep grenades. Knock them all out. They wake up later. No idea. While you rob
lock this post box. Oh!
What the hell?
I don't know what that was. I've never seen that before.
You've never had just gotten...
The craftsman. Oh, the craftsman's not far. I'm going to take that to him. The engineer's not far.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Pokemon for a while, but now that I'm at this point, like I don't care about putting it on the TV. I'll play that.
It plays
handheld.
really nice on the TV. That's what
It plays really nice on the
TV,
TV, but because I finished the story and like it's fun to do all the big gym battles on the TV and stuff, and like especially like when you're in the Dynamax stuff, I have been having a lot of fun doing like Disney Plus, or like I watch a lot of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and then I can be playing in handheld.
Nice.
So that's the other perk about this. What do you know, Nintendo Switch? Killing it.
Drop it.
I think that's a good sum up on some Pokemon so far.
Oh, what, dude? Go to sleep.
I'm happy that I still have story to go. I'm happy that there's a challenge to catching this shit. I'm happy there's like...
Your buddy right there? Yeah, you
it doesn't feel like
There
I'm
you go.
doing stupid shit and the same shit over and over and over again so much so far in Endgame. It feels like I've got a lot of options of how to progress and
Right.
develop the best team. And I like the systems management in that. I mean, you got a whole world of this. I've also been spending some time, though, a little bit more playing Jedis. That's the nice thing, is me and my roommate, we'll switch on and off, because, like, handheld on the Switch, PlayStation on the screen. That's easy to do. And, like...
Get there.
As a Dark Souls fan, Jedi Fallen Order is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Some of the climbing and what's that game called? What's that Drake game?
Uncharted?
Uncharted, because it's a very much a combination of Dark Souls and Uncharted, and you could see where they just kind of like took the ideas from those games and just forced them into Star Wars.
Yeah.
But a lot of it plays out really great. Like the fighting mechanics of this has been a ton of fun.
Well, it enriches the games for Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
It's like if they were trying to like recreate or it was the first Jedi game or something like that, and
Force Unleashed,
and they did this, it would seem really cheesy that they just kind of ripped off these parts. But they took something that was already popular, Jedis, and the video games, Jedi video games, Unleashed.
and they gave it a popular
And then they
mechanic.
gave it a popular sort of mechanic to it. A couple of them, quite frankly, quite a bit
Yeah.
of them.
Oh, it's very... You could see so much of it, like the whole meditation circles. It's very Dark Souls.
And
very,
it worked really well.
Yeah.
And Code Vein did it, and it wasn't really... No one really harped on them for, copying that. But you can see clearly where that
I've just been
influence is
noticing,
coming
like,
from.
okay, so take, like, the meditation circles is just very directly the fires, but it's, like, a funny way of fitting them into the Jedis. They do a great job of it.
Yeah, they make it its own, for
I've
sure.
been having a lot of fun playing this game. I like that it's a good challenge. I like how you do feel really fit into a Jedi. Like, the one thing, though, is about being a Jedi is a lot of the game is... Dark Souls, you can go in an infinite number of directions of how to develop.
Right.
And this is your Jedi. You have your
Whoa,
Force
whoa,
powers,
buddy.
which are a lot of, like, slow time,
Is this
pull,
guy
push
serious?
type stuff. And then you have your lightsaber,
Close.
which eventually becomes a double saber, and eventually you can also split it, so you can be switching between, like, double saber combos and then 2 lightsaber combos. Gets really cool, but it still really all just falls down to the same simple, like, get good at your parries, get your combo in, dodge
Right.
the hell out of the way. When they're flashing red, get the fuck out, and then, like, slow them in the right moments. It still falls just to that. I like that in some ways, but it does make the game feel a little simple because at times it feels like, what am I progressing?
Yeah.
You have your tree, your skill tree you're developing, but, like, take, we've been looking, so the copy we got the Premiere download stuff too. So if you bought the, like, the Premiere copy of it, I forget what term they used or what they labeled
Yeah.
it as, but you got a specialty skin for your ship. You got a specialty skin for BD1, your little robot. you got a whole bunch of extra content that's like a huge download. It was like a 20 gig download for the whole thing, because you got a lot of video stuff of like the production. You got like art books and a lot of that stuff as well. But the skins that you got for BD1 and Mantis, the ship, it's just red. That was it.
Wow.
It was just red. For every little bit of, because you're really the only things that are the hidden items you're finding are either extra stim packs, so you can get more health packs while you're playing before you go to a circle and reset, or customizable stuff for your poncho, your robot, your uniform, the ship, or parts for your lightsaber, and you get to customize your lightsaber. For all that stuff, the amount of variety is very minimal. So far, a lot of it seems a bit ridiculous. Like, it's just not that cool.
Right.
It's not, like, the stuff is very simple. Your ponchos all look stupid. There was one BD1 skin that was cool. There was one BD1 skin that was cool because he's got, like, a googly eye on.
Okay.
That I've seen so far, too. There's still a lot more to unlock. I am only 3 planets into this game.
Right.
But it is... I love the story. I love these maps. I like them. You get some really cool sprawling areas. You get some, like, everything is very Star Wars. You get to fight the things that the race that Darth Maul is. You go to their planet and fight them early on. So, like, it's a very fun experience. I want to finish this game. For how cool it looks, you run into some problems. For example, a lot of elevators we've been on have, like, clipping where, like, parts of the walls will be coming through the elevator while you're taking it. You'll have we were playing and, like, what we kept getting them to load in late, and they'd be T-posing like the stormtroopers.
Oh, wow.
There's some weird buggy things that have happened, a few crashes. They definitely need to patch some stuff. And big warning, on one of the first few planets, I forget which one right now, there's a spot where, like, you need to unlock a certain power to progress, but if you try hard enough, you can make it over this little ledge. Okay. And if you make it over this little ledge, you'll get stuck in a spot where you can't progress forward because you don't have the power you don't have the unlocks you need so far. And you literally have to start your game over. So that's another little glitch about this thing. I don't know all the details of it because we didn't try and, like, get over that wall, but we found the spot and, like, saw, like, you could definitely jank your way to get through it, but you don't want to get over that obstacle early because it'll ruin your game. But aside from that, it's dope. You're going back to places because you unlocked a new power. Now you can get to a new area of the map. I'm still having, like, so much fun with the lightsaber stuff, and I'm still very early on. I've watched video of not what happens in the story later on, but what the gameplay gets like.
Yeah. And,
like, it does get to a point where, yeah, you're walking between a lightsaber, dual lightsaber, and 2 lightsabers. You're in 2 lightsabers, throwing one while you're slashing people with another. Your force powers, you can push a lot more shit and, like, just throw things off ledges. Like, it's a lot of fun. It still has a very Dark Souls feel, but it's not exactly Dark Souls.
Yeah. Which is totally understandable. No, I was just, I was gonna finish my little thoughts on the Fallen Order.
Yeah.
But my thing with it, I like it. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I love it. Actually, like, that's just kind of how it works. They didn't do shitty enough job for me to not like it because I like Star Wars so much. So.
I may be adding some critiques now, but I do love this game.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that they did it like it's like the Avengers. It's like anything else. They're just leveraging our love for that to not say anything mean about it.
But that means it's Star Wars enough. Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
It's Star Wars enough that it's a great experience, and
exactly.
they don't destroy Star Wars in the process.
But my thing is just the character selection. Now, they have been bad at this, and I'm not saying anything about the guy who's acting, but the way the character is, it's just like, can we get any other, just any more plain Jane, like not hip, not this, not that, not anything really character, like.
Yeah, he's
He just-
interesting. He's got a cool aspect about him because he's got the whole like.
His abilities in the game are interesting, sure.
Yeah.
The character itself is not interesting.
Okay.
He's kind of like, oh,
That's fair.
Thanks for that. Da da da. Like,
At times
there's
feels a little bit bland.
There's no personality to him where it's like,
But that's not what he does. He feels other
Hey,
people's
this-
personalities.
are you just like, city dwelling kid that's never
I
Then-
guess I'll go try now.
like I don't know. I don't get it. Where like you got this outgoing, adventurous, da da da, this or that, and then like he's
Right.
not really.
I hope his personality develops since
And
this is
it-
another game like you were saying with this one
think
where
it
like
does.
people this game they put cinematography level thought into it.
Yeah.
You have actual actors involved in a video game on that scale of cinematics. Hopefully they get to that cinematic level of story writing where yes, I do hope his personality develops more throughout the game. I hope he doesn't at the end of the game he doesn't feel like the same like I'm not sure what I'm doing right now, but I guess I'll go follow my path kind of mentality. I hope that does change.
Yeah.
But like I've been joking, I hope that girl that's like your mentor at the moment is like a Sith Lord. I just hope she is evil and it turns into some weird shit later
How
on.
much more do I have?
I don't think that's happening, but it'd be cool.
Damn it. I can't put these ceramics anywhere.
Oh, damn it. You had a space?
Okay, I know what I'm going to do. Yeah,
But
no, I don't know. It's a great game. It's a great
Still
game. Don't
total
get me wrong. And
recommendation,
and EA has now got a good solid game under their publishing in the
Now-
last year. That's not a sports game.
There is one thing that feels like they really got to fix this about it. Because it does get a number of frame rate drops. Usually that is after you spawn in, right after, like, and it's loading an area. You'll get,
Right.
like, a weird drop in frame rate a lot of the time in that moment. Like I said, like, those stormtroopers would, like, load
I'm
in
playing
late
on,
and
I'm
actually
playing on
T-pose.
PC, though, too. I just want to
Yeah,
be
yeah, I'm
clear.
playing
I
on
haven't
console. I'm playing on PS4.
I haven't experienced
Um,
any issues.
Well, let me know.
whatsoever.
Are you experiencing this? Because it'll have I forget what the term is, but like it'll load in the base layer and then the higher definition layer,
rendering issues?
the rendering thing.
Yeah.
It'll be so slow at times that like you're 10 seconds into the cinematic before like her face is a
And it's
face.
still showing up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
exactly.
it
That's
looks
a render
like
issue.
first it looks janky and then it pops on.
Yeah.
and,
that's a
like,
rendering issue.
We're building, and that happens both in cinematics and in gameplay, or at the workshop where we're doing the customization of the lightsaber. Time out. But yeah, it's fun. It is still a very fun game. I'm gonna see it through. I'm early on in this. I'm on World 3. I have no idea how many worlds are in it or how far the story goes. It's a dope game. I'm just gonna bring up that it's buggy because it totally is. In areas a little bit more than you would think for this type of a title on its release, but not anything that ruins the game in any way, shape, or form to me. And he's back.
I had to call
Woo,
in,
was scary.
call in a timeout there and turn the AC back on. We got too much electronics going on up in here. Feels better already. Jesus.
Really, it's just that PlayStation. Whoo, she's trying.
PlayStation's it's doing more than trying. It's exceeding
is.
excessively.
Overclocked. That's the only thing PlayStation knows.
The fan is overclocked. I don't
Yeah.
know about this system.
No, just the fan.
Yeah, so I just got a great idea of this. But yeah, it's like I said, they added enough to make it not unleashed, And it's not Dark Souls either. It just takes the little bits of them and puts them in there, and then gives us a great Jedi story.
It's a great package.
That's
it's
up
a
to
great
date. That's
Jedi
up to
story.
date.
Yes.
That's in scope and everything with what we're currently experiencing with everything else. And you even mentioned it last time with the Mandalorian, that it has that cinematic same feel where they kind of share
It's
the
the
same
Star Wars we've been
the
expecting.
same theme in terms of like the way it was filmed or the way that it's the era that it's in, the kind of landscape that you're dealing with, that type of stuff is very similar, which kind of gives you this continuity throughout, on multiple layers. That feels nice. That when you experience the story, you kind of get that these other little bits and pieces that you wouldn't normally get from mainstream Star Wars stuff.
It feels like it's more filling the universe,
Correct,
as
right.
opposed to like retell it or
like
reshape
or
what
even
it
like
is.
the side part that doesn't have anything to do with anything Star Wars ever before.
Mhm.
That's just a complete made up thing. This actually is in line with what we've been dealing with. So
And
it's
so far,
it's
like-
a spin-off of the not just Star Wars. They're not just using Star Wars to say, "Oh, he's a Jedi." Like this is part of what you're experiencing through everything else that you know that is Star Wars. However you receive that, which is you through movies, it falls in line with that. So
It I was a big fan. Like, yes, it feels like it's filling the universe in a good way. And where I'm at in the story, I'm interested. We're literally looking into cool like histories about the Force, because like right now what we're looking into is this old civilization, like this race of peoples that used the Force, and never heard about them before in anything Star Wars to me. Granted, I'm not the greatest historian in the Star Wars universe, but you have like we're looking at this old race of like the whole race of people use the Force. If I'm getting it correctly, and it sounds like we're gonna like learn more that answers more questions that we had from watching Star Wars. We're gonna learn more about the things we care about, but it's not gonna impede on the story that already exists. That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. It's good. It's good. I'm happy to hear that it's running a lot better on PC
they
because
just need to get upgrade Cal.
and they got to get some better at looking outfits.
And I noticed that the
And BD ones. And
lightsaber
ships.
stuff is
You keep repeating stuff.
it's cool, but it's not,
It's where I like as it develops, like when you get the double saber, when you get the dual saber, probably
The
like
dually.
things like stream together a little better, I think. I also noticed that some of the killing animations are a little funky. Like it just seems to end in a weird spot, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, none of it kills the experience, because I'm still having fun running around and discovering each of these maps and trying 100% each map before leaving it. Or at least as much as I can, and then go get the powers, and then come back with new powers, and then get further in that map. So, that's what that's what I was hoping to get out of this, and I'm getting exactly that out of this game.
Perfect.
Plus, now that I'm like in endgame Pokemon, that it slows down a bit. It's more, it's maintaining and developing things. I'll have times where, I'm just hanging out online and waiting for other people to start raids, and then I'll join their raids. So, like, I can kind of have that running on the side in a funny way while I'm actually playing Jedi.
Yeah, absolute.
Or it's easy to bounce back and forth, especially because my roommate's also playing the game. It's a fun pass and play. And yeah, if you guys want to check it out, our last episode, we played like the first, 2 hours of the game almost?
Something like that.
It was a good time. It was
Yeah.
a good time.
Add those materials. I've
don't
been
know.
farming my chiral crystals, I'll just tell you that much.
Ooh.
Got
Now, are those the
9,000
most
of
important
them
thing?
bitches.
So you got 9,000 of them.
They're the hardest thing to get because they only come from BTs.
But you have 9,000 of them.
I got 9,000.
Are
I kill a lot of BTs.
How close are you to like your No Man's Sky status
no,
of this
you
game?
don't even get money, so I can't do that.
But like the things that you need
Doesn't
to
even
stock up on.
translate. I don't know. Nothing,
chiral crystals can't buy you other things. They just do
no.
what you need them to do.
No, they don't buy you anything. Yeah.
There's
they
no
don't buy
barter
you.
system.
No. They just allow me to put them to the auto paver,
They
store
allow
them
you to
in.
build stuff.
Yeah, store them in there. Some weapons need chiral crystals, stuff like that. But not in the amounts that where you need 9,000 of them.
Oh, I
So
see over here.
I could be very comfortable with a couple thousand.
So you're trying to upgrade this
I'm
this
upgrading.
road UC.
I'm trying to get it built. Yeah. So
It
I'm gonna-
required 3,000 ceramics.
Yeah, so I only had like 1,000 or so on me because it's hard to carry 3,000 ceramics.
They have
But
weight
what
to
I'll
them?
do is I'll start to leverage my surrounding areas with like the film director. So I'll drive over to him and I'll get 640 ceramics.
And is that? Do
I
you have to do
can-
something for him to get
no,
that, or
no.
do you
So
buy
once
them
I
from
put
him, or
online, so once I put him online, he becomes part of the chiral network. So then I get those. That's like his trade-off to me personally, is that I get the storage from him. So it starts off with a base storage that
yeah,
he
that's
has
a big
for,
part of this, the storage space.
Yeah, for his resources. So then they become my resources, and since like those are basically the ones that I'll be able to use of his, I can fill it up though, and then they'll always be there for me. So I can like store a bunch of stuff there. I can store a bunch of stuff here, whatever. But there's no roads that really go out there yet, or even auto pavers. So I'm
It's
staying
the
away
Wild
from
West.
that. I'm going on this main. So I've built from here to here to here.
So this is post-apocalyptic.
So I'm trying
Red
to
Dead.
build. I'm trying to build the rest of this through. This is like This is a really good area to do a lot of stuff in.
I know this is a ungenreable game, but that's why I like coming up with stupid comparisons. It's Red Dead Crazy Taxi.
The genre.
I'm not
is
wrong.
Stranding.
It's a Stranding game.
That's what
Exactly.
he says. So it's like, okay, dude.
Red Dead Crazy Taxi.
Right, buddy. Whatever you say, buddy. But yeah, he's. I'm sure he pissed a lot of people off with this game, but he's made a one-of-a-kind experience.
And hey, good job, man.
Absolutely.
That's the goal here. See experience.
See, this is what I mean.
Yeah, this looks like a shitty place to be driving
This is
in.
a shitty place to be driving this car.
You can now like what would you build to make this easier? Can you eventually pave that just
I
straight
could
into
build
a road?
another bridge, I guess, right over this stuff again.
Do you have
It's a
enough
lot of
materials to
stuff.
do that?
No, I just put them in that thing.
But that'd be a way to get over this spot.
Yeah, let's see what it says. I don't
Can
even
you
know if
choose
I
the
have
length of the
PCC.
bridge, or are they like
No, it's just a
specific
standard-
lengths?
Standard. Yeah, standardized length. I don't know.
Is there only one length?
Yeah.
Can you just build a ramp and jump that shit?
No.
Okay. See, I don't know. It's good to ask.
Can't build a
I get this though. This is where these post boxes really play a role too. Of like people can store stuff here to like complete it.
Oh, shit. Brain fart. My
Uh-oh.
brain is
Oh.
farting. There we go. I was at the wrong one. So
Oh, I see this.
I can't build this.
Can't really fit it
structure.
anywhere. You'd have to back up probably. Like try like right by the base of the bridge,
It's on it. It's detecting that.
because you're landing. You're landing in the front here. Needs to fit in this front area even, right?
Obstacle detected. Yeah, so not gonna do that, and that's what I mean by some areas you gotta walk, dude.
Some
You
areas
gotta
suck.
walk. But it looks like this area actually is connected through this piece that I'm trying to build.
Can you make like cranes?
No, once I build that piece, it'll turn into this other road that's over here.
Is there? I'm just curious because I don't know. Like I'm seeing what the capabilities
No,
are.
there's no cranes.
Can you like?
nothing.
Is there any like mining of these rocks?
No.
Or they'll just always
No.
be that way. Okay.
They'll just that's that. There's auto pavers.
What about springboards? Like, pew!
No. Ladders and anchors.
Ladders and anchors.
Yeah.
Could you separate 2 ladders apart enough and drive the car over 2 ladders?
No.
Could you make a zip line from bridge to bridge?
I could make a zip line that goes over theirs, but I'd have to walk over to where the zip line is, and I wouldn't have my car.
See, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to just, let's spitball ideas. How creative can you get here?
You build the road.
But you can pave through that shit then eventually?
The auto paver goes over it
Okay.
and connects to the road that's on the other side that someone already built. They just didn't build this one first for some reason. Engineer.
It's building roads somewhere else right now.
Engineer.
Is this you looking at all the stuff inside of your car right now?
Yeah.
Is there a limit to...
Engineer, craftsman.
Okay, I was just going to wonder if you were going to...
Junk dealer.
How much can the car hold? Weight-wise.
Not much more. Well, I unloaded a bunch of stuff, so quite a bit, but I don't know the exact number. But this car accumulates... It adds its cargo plus my cargo. A bike, you can put 6 items on it, regardless, like whatever they accumulate. So like 2 larges, 2 XLs, 4 larges, 5 mediums, or 6 smalls, or whatever, or a mixture of whatever that accumulates to. And then I can have the amount of cargo that I carry on my back, and still drive the motorcycle.
Now,
This thing, that is not true. It has a set cargo limit, including what's on my back. So it just adds that into the limit, and so if I have over the limit, I just can't even get in the car.
That's funny. Can't
So
fit. You packed the car too tight.
I don't, but I could like literally like take twice as much
Can't even
stuff
shift in
on
the drive
a
anymore.
bike though. Well, not twice as much. Just a minute. Matters on the configuration, really.
Yeah. I like that the configuration of each item matters in this game. That's a cool aspect about it, especially because you're doing so much item management and sorting.
Sort those items, player.
Now, what was my question from before? I'm trying to think of like just what the expansive capabilities are of this.
Like all the bridges and the climbing areas, the ladders are for like while you're playing the game. The end game is you're supposed to drive on these roads, and they have a set path on where you're supposed to be going, because there's only those places to go, and you don't want to really dwell outside of these areas because this rain just ruins anything that you have on you.
Oh yeah.
So like right now, my stuff's being ruined by this rain.
So just a little bit ago, I saw you crossed a boundary that was you were out of the grid.
Yeah, now I can't build shit.
Are you in the grid right now?
Oh yeah, yep. The
That
grid's
place that
based
was
off of where I
what you've
have,
connected, yeah.
And then there's places that just won't be on the
Is
grid.
there places you haven't been yet? Or have you connected the grid fully?
I connected the grid. When you connect the grid fully, like enough connections, I guess fully, like there aren't anymore. If that's what that means, you have to do that to beat the game. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I was curious. And then, do those connections ever break down with time? Like, if you don't visit an area long enough, is shit gonna go happen there?
No.
Okay. Just that the timefall will destroy whatever's been built there, but also you're already connected to a network of everyone playing in that area, essentially. So when you go back
really
there,
weird.
it's probably already
not
kind
everyone. I don't know how they bring
it's weirdly server connected.
I thought about it, how they would do it, but I don't know if it's a time thing or if it's just a random match of like
when you're playing.
Like you have to die, forget something, or leave it, or entrust it, or something like that for cargo even to be slipped into other people's games. So like it leaves your game for good, but goes into somebody else's game for what I guess eternity is until it's picked up. So like there's generally lost items, and then there's lost cargo from actual players.
And it's like you couldn't see every bridge ever built in that area right now, or every
So
bridge
I
that's
can
built in
see
that
the
area
bridges. It's really weird. So you can see that what people build, but like
It's
I don't know how they populate that area with
Yeah.
like my area. I'm guessing they have some randomizing picker, but you're only allowed to build so many structures in your area based on that connection level.
Okay.
So my connection level is already at 4 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty much at the max level of what structures I can have
Yeah.
in the area, in his given area. So, like, let's say I get it to a 5th star, which I do have some other ones. It expands that. I don't know if it's items I can build in my area or if it's items that were already built that are staying there that accumulate for that that number of like finalized buildings, because I can dismantle anything,
Yeah.
whether I built it or somebody else built it.
So
like somebody
that's
else's
very
game,
interesting. See, I'm very
somebody
curious
else's
how they
game is
combine
not going to
things.
have the same bridges,
Yeah.
things built.
It's like, is it when you log in? Is it a random generation out
So
based
you
off
can do
of what
connections
you've already
when you
built
die.
and who you're connected
When
to?
you die, you can go through the Stranding part and make connections with people that had died recently in the same area. And then you get their connection through the game. But there is some things that just show up, and I don't know how you get selected for that or if how other people get selected for your stuff. But if they return your stuff or you return their stuff, that solidifies the connection and then allows stuff to show up.
Like they zoned
So a
the
lot of
map
the
in
certain names can
zones.
keep
Yeah.
showing up once they
That's
show up.
interesting.
But like I don't know, like they don't have.
Maybe they do it through your friends or friends
no,
of friends
because I would have seen
lists
people that
or
I know on here.
Good point.
Yeah, so
But that's so
they
this is
should have
very-
done that.
yeah,
I thought
this
about
is
that. They
very
should have done
interesting.
friends list first. They should have prioritized
Yeah.
friends, so you could be like, "Yo, dude, I just died and I got this thing built over on this side
But
or
even
whatever."
just the way you're
you know?
talking about it, it's kind of crazy how they
But that's
how
the
it's
Death
set
Stranding.
up so that who you're seeing, who you're running into, whose stuff you're seeing, who you already know, prioritizing based off of who you've actually connected with in the game and what you've actually built in the game, but then filling the rest with whatever this randomness is.
Yeah.
That there's stuff there. Who's making it?
But I
Yes,
can still
I'm gonna add
manipulate it
to
in
it.
any way.
But if you add to it, like if you were involved in the building of a bridge, for that bridge's life, you would always be able to cross that bridge or whatever. Not load for
bridges
your
are
game.
just built. That's the thing. Bridges are just built,
But you said you
Okay.
contribute for those.
not the bridges. Like you can contribute to repairing it or upgrading it, but you won't be contributing to the person that built it. The person that built it will always be the person that built it. So like,
But can't it get destroyed, dismantled?
yeah, I can
Okay.
dismantle it. That's what I'm saying. So if someone built the bridge in my game in a certain area, it's probably only in that person's game where that bridge is built, not in anybody else's. Or maybe it is. I don't know how that's shared.
That's why I'm
But-
curious about that.
But yeah, exactly. But like,
because this
it-
game's
the
so
only thing
detailed
that-
about physical space.
The only thing you share building something on, like that you like, is the auto pavers, which are on a predetermined path.
Mhm.
So that will get filled in everybody's game, right? That's the only one, and they kind of have that name, auto paver. So it's like already had been built this way. You're just reestablishing.
You're
those
rebuilding
connections.
Route 66.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the bridge, you have to have all the funds to just build the bridge right then and there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you build it, and then someone can choose to keep it in their game, or they can choose to dismantle it, or they can choose to upgrade it in their game. And if they upgrade it in their game, it will upgrade it in your game.
Okay.
Okay?
If they dismantle
How-
it, will it still be in your game?
It will be in the person who built its game,
Even if they dismantled it?
not in their game.
Oh, it'll still be
yeah.
in the person who built a game.
Right. So if I dismantle it in my game, it will be still in their game,
Okay.
on their thing. So that's what I mean. I don't know the lengths of how that works, or if it goes back to that person and deletes it in their game as well, which I think would be foolish. So from my
See,
understanding,
that's where I've been curious
it's just
about
manipulating your space only. You get the contribution and the manipulation without messing up anybody else's game. It's completely separated in that regard.
this. So if you built the first bridge, if you built the bridge first, people could support your bridge. No one's going to destroy for your game experience. People could support your bridge. No one's going to destroy it. And for the entire life of that bridge, it'll exist in your game until it is destroyed in your game.
by timefall.
By timefall or
But
by
somebody
you
else
dismantling
can
it.
repair it.
Yes.
That's not in my game.
Yeah.
As long as they didn't dismantle it in their game.
That's
so
cool.
if it's a usable bridge for them,
It's
they most likely won't
crazy
dismantle
to
it.
to figure
And
out.
they'll most
like,
likely keep it keeping
Yeah.
it good. So it kind of has its own system that will eliminate shitty built stuff, or if
Yeah.
it's excessive, like, oh hey, the auto paver goes right here and the auto paver's been done.
That's an interesting
We don't need this bridge
system
here
of
anymore.
the connections in that
That's
game.
the stranding part where you're connected through a strand.
And it's the more stronger your
whatever
connection with
it
that
is.
person, the more of their stuff you're finding in your game.
So I could do this.
You're creating communities.
Yeah, I could do this and go down to bridge links.
People are already building discords of their group of people that keep building in the same areas, and then they're like, hey, we need repairs over here. And then a bunch of people could log in and go repair it and shit. And, like,
If
you're literally
on
developing
it, yeah.
communities in areas of this world. That's cool. I mean, that sounds like what the goal, that's the purpose of the game, and that's what Kojima's achieving in its players, the people who do play it, you know? If you
So I
don't
can
enjoy the
make
game, play
these-
something else.
I can hit
But
triangle.
for people who enjoy this game, that's what you're getting out of it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And that's where it becomes this really unique experience.
I can hit triangle on these people, and it will make a strand contract.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know if they get a notification or anything, or if it says anything to them about it at all, or anything else like that at all. But basically,
It's
these people's stuff
Yeah.
will start to show up more frequently and be more visible in my game.
Yeah. Which means the more people you know, the less you have to build. But how do they overlap with each other? Like, what if
That's what I mean.
what
I
if
don't
those two guys don't know? What if wait, stay there a second.
know. I
Like,
think you're just getting too far into it, bro.
I see, but I'm so curious about that because it's a really cool mechanic
Yeah,
about
it
how
is.
that's so core to this game, especially in the end game. And this is why, like, you know, I going into this episode today, it's about these end games. Are you finished the game, you played through the story, but is it a game you want to own or is it a game you want to rent? Is it a game you want to continue playing after you beat it? Pokemon, you have a humongous competitive scale, and you have one of the easiest introductions to competitive Pokemon. It's a ton of fun in that aspect. It's easy to continue playing. And just like in the past, Pokemon has always been known for having events to continue adding to the game. This game gives you more unique ways of them adding to the game, especially with these Dynamax raids, with these battle towers, with these tournaments. I am all about playing the end game of that game. This game, as you've expressed, like how these communities are just completely developing just around how you play this game and what you're doing in it, especially after you play the core story in that area. And so you are forcing this unique development of communities that makes this game, your community is what the whole end game is about, is maintaining a community about it. And that will make this game live. It sounds like if this game is your jam, you have a humongous amount of end game experience to have just because of how the core game is developed.
Yeah, and
It's what
like
you
I
get
said,
in Pokemon, it's what you get in this.
It might set up for a DLC too on Death Stranding, so just even more.
Yeah, the
more
world can
stuff. Like
change.
the story is, I mean, they like I said, they give you the finalizing moment, but then they give you this end game where you go 2 weeks later, and like you can kind of just stay in this space where it's like, you know, it never really progresses to that moment, because you're actually in a time where you went forward and did something and got those final moments. So you're like technically just waiting for the inauguration of the new president of the United States.
Yeah.
So like that's what your objective says, your orders say. So like the orders for you to do as Sam Bridges, the
Tease
porter,
that something should be coming.
well, those are the only ones that are available. So, like, it still has this option for orders for Sam to be opened back up, so then you could continue to do these orders, maybe even, like, moments before the end that, you know, happened on some sort of ancillary level. Who knows? What you know what I mean? Like, it's just left open for that. So there's no
something open,
confirmation
yeah.
of DLC or talks of it, but it definitely is left open for that, and I think an open end is the best way to go, especially
Right.
with a new intellectual property and
such a community-based
yeah, exactly,
concept.
really, yeah. So
It's great, and it sounds like they can add into it when they want to and how they want to. And, like, think about where you're at now in this game. since you went back 2 weeks, and you are now just connected to a whole grid of other people that are in the same place developing this map more. Whatever they expand on it with is going to play, at least it better, play off of that core concept they just created.
Right.
And that's a very cool thing. That is what makes this game its own genre and what makes it so unique. Totally. I mean, it's like in Pokemon. You finish the game to the end credits. And then nothing tells you, you just know in Pokemon games or something like that, you still want to explore and find more stuff. And you go back to the place where you get the items that connect you with the legendary Pokemon. Sorry, I'm trying to do this without spoilers. But you're like, all right, I just finished the game. Let me go check this area out. And then what do you know? You stumble into more story, and now I got all this other shit I got to go figure out.
Yeah.
Even though I have so much more of the game already expanded for me,
Yeah.
there's still something coming.
Yeah,
good thing.
Hideo Kojima hits you over the head at the end of this game where he puts like a soft ending and rolls the credits. And like I was like kind of taken back, like not sure what was happening. And then I was like understanding what was happening. And I was like, this level of genius is just so good. Because you know how many people want to turn the game off when they get the credits? So he rolls the credits with like a soft ending. And then you realize I still have to go through these final moments. That's still another like 45 minutes. And
Still another
yeah, and
cinematic or gameplay or
both, a little merger of both, and then it has like this kind of like crossover where you do both, and then there's some like multiverse time travel / stuff that's pretty interesting as well, but he does that, and I was like, dude, see, like this is good, really good stuff, because I always watch the credits. For video games, not so much movies, but for video games, that is like from old Japanese RPGs. That the game is only finalized, and you only get the save for your memory card or whatever. Then a lot of these were on PlayStation. You only get that save when it says finished at the end of the credits in a lot of Japanese RPGs. And I've taken that with me as kind of like a tradition through video games as a whole. That's like the part of the game where I sit and like, you know, I have my cold drink or whatever else, and I'm like, yes, this is the moment where I get to chill, take this all in, and look at the credits and then understand, like, you know, the amount of work that actually goes into these, you know, whatever terrible hobbies or whatever it is that it's saying about. And the people are starting to understand now that this is a level of entertainment and art and
it's so
everything else. And
worldwide.
he's presenting it. And Hideo Kojima is presenting it in that way, and he's making it really known. Like this is, I give you the cast and crew before the game starts. I give it to you at the end when the game is being played in a nice cinematic.
Kojima
and
like 18 times.
because he does everything, you know,
Yeah.
and he does it at the end, and then he does a traditional credit roll at the end, where, you know, you can kind of check out at that point if you want to. I would again watch the whole thing.
But again, how much goes into making of this game?
It really just
I
really
mean,
puts
even
it out
with
there.
any of these games now, we're so international. You have a department for every translation.
Right, and on this one, the screen players are different. For not the character, the modeling is always the same, but the person who did this motion capture for some of the Asian versions is a completely different person.
Because of like how the lips move.
Well, because
and
they
all
were
that,
gonna,
the meshing up and, like, the
exactly,
talking and everything.
exactly. So
Yeah.
they keep the model of, you know, Norman Reedus, and Norman Reedus did all the motion
and then
capture.
they just change his mouth.
He did all the motion capture in Santa Monica Studios in L.A.
Yeah.
They did all that there. So that's where the crew did it for most of it. But for very few other versions, they had the translation. Voice actors are different. That all is different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's double what it was done for the game just to come out in America or any English speaking country or whatever, and then a whole slew of other ones for them to be done properly with in some whatever dialect, Asian dialect or language that it was for the country that it was for. So I mean, like, that doubles the work just right there for a pretty important aspect of the game, the vocals, the audio, and part of the acting. So I mean, it's just amazing, and he shows that, and it's not like it. What I think is what he does when he does that, and some people are like, oh fuck that, that's bullshit, whatever. Is he lets you know that everybody appreciates all these other forms of art and entertainment. It's time to start appreciating video games as well as one of those, and especially now as video games are starting to move into popular culture and mainstream culture, where it's kind of dwelled in popular culture for a while.
Expanding even further.
It's dwelled in popular culture for a while, but it's fully in there now, and it is in the mainstream.
Yeah,
you got Ninja showing up to the Lions games in Detroit, home games, and being walked out on the field. Being walked out on the field.
Exactly. What is it? The like news that's doing the like ball drop New Year's Eve and stuff.
Right.
That's just we are there now in games.
He's just as popular as a football player, NFL football player, basketball player.
And you relate to this
more popular.
where we've talked about we started in earlier games where a lot of it was text based. I mean, this is a very unique medium, or a form of entertainment, because it's really a hybrid between a book and a movie. You get this visual experience from your movies. You get, we're at cinematic level visual experience now in a lot of these games. But then you're playing from the perspective of inside of a character most of the time. And so that's something that you usually only get from reading a book, where you're really inside their head. You're experiencing it through them as opposed to seeing what's happening to them. And so you get this great, medium experience. Yeah. If you like reading, hell, go play Destiny. Go play any of these games. Like we were just seeing on Death Stranding here.
Yeah.
If you want to learn the lore, you're going to read a lot of shit, but it's a great thing
because
it's like you pick up this unique item and you read that item's story. The reason people love Star Wars so much is because every single character and item has a history and a story. That it becomes an infinite universe, because you can find so much just from one little piece of information. That's this one little extra item you didn't even have to look at in the world. And this game nails it.
Yeah.
It makes this universe grow from nothing.
Yes. And you mentioned that I delivered a pizza. This guy got mad because I didn't do his delivery. The pizza
So you still have the pizza, and he's pissed?
Yeah, he said he wrote me a message about it.
Do you wish to know my secrets? Is that guy?
Yeah.
Peter? What does he have to say?
He said, you refused to indulge me in delivering his pizza. I'll overlook this transgression, painful as it was. But he wants me to do something else.
Is that giving you a chance to make it up? But let us not cry over spilled milk. If you would do me one final favor, I have faith I can find it in my heart to forgive you. You must know in yours what I am about to ask.
Yeah, he just wants me to bring the pizza.
Pizza, pizza, pizza! He just wants you to bring the pizza. That's your final favor. I love it. Higgs Monaghan, thank you for that piece of art. But, I don't know, you going to bring him that pizza?
No.
You going to eat that pizza?
No.
If this is the apocalypse, if it's the, I'm just going to lay this down now. If it is post-apocalypse and we're around and there's a pizza, I ain't delivering it to nobody.
Yeah.
It's pizza. I'm going to enjoy that shit.
And then there's all these memory chips to still find, too.
Like just people's histories?
All kinds of stuff. So this one is Frame Arms Girls Bayako.
Spin-off of the Frames Arms series. The Nintendo boxing game? No, different. Because she doesn't have any boxing gloves. She has guns. In particular. It's just crazy. There's a whole story to whatever that is.
About the history of everything, you know?
Is there a Starbucks cup?
No.
Come on.
Didn't
Game
make
of
it
Thrones
that.
did it. Game of Thrones did it.
Didn't make it that far back.
Is there a Twinkie?
Nope.
The Timefall ruined Twinkies?
Timefall ruins everything.
The Timefall ruined Twinkies.
Ruins everything.
But I'm not talking about everything.
Yes,
I'm talking about Twinkies.
Twinkies included.
I don't want to live in that world.
Chiral clouds. Here we go. Chiral clouds and Timefall. Why do chiral clouds form?
Why does
Timefall occur? Why does it herald the manifestation of BTs? These are the questions we still struggle to answer. Well, this is not going to give us anything about it then.
As we know, BTs are beings formed of something akin to antimatter. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
See? Look at that.
We know it's antimatter.
Their first appearance
we do the antimatter
coincided
bombs.
with the Death Stranding. So it's converting people. Now, I study physics as a hobby. Antimatter would be then if they touched you, basically they're anti-you, because it's going to be the anti-version of them, or are they talking specifically antimatter? Great. I'm curious. I'm curious if they had a science advisor.
You use antimatter to destroy
matter. If they collide,
them.
it's a humongous explosion. So you use antimatter to destroy the BTs?
Well, to destroy the tar.
Okay.
That the BTs are living in, or
so
that allows
antimatter
them.
in your piss?
No, in your piss, it's because you're dooms.
And they just avoid it.
It's in your blood. That's an avoidance to them, and if you overdose them with it, it will kill them.
Okay. I'm just curious because.
But then you get this chiral cutter that you just start cutting the umbilical cords, like the little cords that bind them from the ground to why they're floating in the air, and then that just kills them because you just sever the umbilical cord.
I just want to read this sentence. Could chiralium, excited by gamma radiation, exacerbate minute distortions in spacetime, somehow loosening the seams that connect us to our beaches?
Yeah. The beach is...
that is an intense question.
The beach is... So, like, they go into... And I don't know.
I'm just curious then, like, because here's the thing. The way this thing is structured, the way this lore looks just right here, they get into science of stuff, and they tried to tie it very close to our world in, like, how the history is and things. So I'm curious in the credits if they have science advisors for some of this, especially since Hollywood's been getting into it more. I don't know. That's curious. They talk. To give a scope, like, one of the guys I listen to podcasts a lot is, and if you like physics, Sean Carroll's Mindscape. Guy he gets a lot of cool interviews with different sciences, and then he likes to compare physics to those sciences. And physics is, very, like, chemistry's made of physics, and biology's made of chemistry, so it's a very base science, which is cool. And, like, this type of stuff is surprisingly deep theoretical physics in, like, actual conversations. It's great to listen to. It's batshit insane. I love it. I mean, it's not insane. It's science.
He goes through a
like,
lot of the stuff.
It's so deep. You're discussing, like, I mean, string theory, if you've heard of, for people who have heard of it, it expresses that there needs to be 11 dimensions to existence.
Yeah, so this goes into a lot of those dimensions.
I'm curious how deep this gets into what that,
The discovery of the beach, the fundamental truth of death was upended. I doubt you will find many who would deny this. Alas, we can say little with confidence in any objective or scientific capacity, for our understanding of this new realm remains in its infancy and is ever evolving. Much like our understanding of the universe as a whole, perhaps the closest thing we have to a working explanation of the beach relates to the concept of a multiverse. But I digress. So, right into line with what you're
so
talking about.
they're getting deep on conversation. That's why I'm curious, like, if they do, and they probably do. That means that because I mean, unless this guy's like just a physician just for fun,
Neanderthals are not extinct.
So, like, I'm curious in the credits to, like, the science advisors for this game.
All right.
I'm even gonna, like, Google that quick, And then I don't know. You want to leave?
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up here. But yeah, it just there's a lot to this game. It is nominated. It has some nominations, even Game of the Year. I don't know if that's like a setup or something, because Kojima has been doing a lot of marketing and appearances, events. He has basically a tour, a Death Stranding tour that's going on across. I don't know if it's the world, but it's a lot of Asian countries, and I think I even saw something about Canada. I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, he's been going everywhere promoting this game. The promotion is crazy, so that might be something to do with his nominations. But I honestly think that it could win Game of the Year with the grand story that it tells, mixed with good
the brand of
gameplay,
Hideo Kojima.
good gameplay, maybe a misunderstood concept coming from what you would normally get from Kojima Productions. But if you're willing to experience something new and just not judge it off your first with this one, like first 5 hours of gameplay, and you get through that, which some other games have done this as well too, and people have really realized how great they are. I think that this is one of those. I think for a short, not talking shit on anybody, but anybody that their attention span is going away quickly and they need things changing and they need new stuff and this and that, it could be hard fought for a good while of the game. But I'm telling you, you start to get real guns, real weapons, grenade launchers, rocket launchers, all that type of stuff. You start to be able to really, take a choice in what you're going to do, how you're going to approach things, rather than just always having to sneak or avoid the thing that's stronger than you or this or that. So that does change, and then it has this whole end game. So there is way more to it. It really develops not only the story but the gameplay. Honestly, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I beat it and wanted to play more. And I would never. I just don't think I would ever. There's very few people I would recommend it to, and I don't think it's one of those things where I could just recommend to anybody and can just go, hey, go play it, because
it's a niche group.
You need to understand. You need to have a lot of understandings in what it is, who Kojima is, what he was striving for, that kind of stuff. You need to have paid attention to what it is and what it became and how it came to light and everything, in order to have the deeper understanding to get you through those parts where you're like, man, am I really doing this?
I would
and
say
then you get to understand what this game's really about, and then you're like, yeah, I know why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? So it does have a changing point where it wins you over, but you do got to get to that point.
I'm not saying that I'm comparing any of these games to this, but I would say that if you enjoyed games like Minecraft, games like No Man's Sky, games like Fallout 4 for its end game, and you like building, these types of games where it's a slow production to develop, a world, to develop a place, discover a place, and go through all these experiences, and it is at a slower pace. Even if you enjoyed Red Dead, all of those things, if you enjoyed it, this game is worth looking at. And the thing is that it's got such a core experience designed into it that is both unique but developing as the game continues to grow, that if it's your style of game, you got a lot of play time out of it, and you can continue playing even after you finish the story.
That's true.
I think that we covered that well today. It's bad at the end games on some of these things. In this game, you can play forever. Pokemon, honestly, you can play those forever. It's why I keep coming back on these things.
Yep.
Jedi Fallen Order would be a game I'd play through and then maybe never touch again.
Yeah,
unless I really want to go back and try a harder difficulty. But it's a game that I'm excited to play all the way through. And I'll try to 100% that shit. But after that, I'm done with it.
Yep, I feel that for sure. That's a good statement on Fallen Order for sure. But I think we're gonna wrap this one up here tonight, guys. It is Thanksgiving this week, so wish
time.
happy Thanksgiving to all y'all, and don't be too crazy on those Black Friday deals, all right? We don't want to
Man, don't
anybody
even
get
bother with Black
trampled or
Friday.
stampeded. They've already started the sales, so if
You're right.
you're not
You're right.
aware of that, just go look at the
But
Black Friday
God
sales
damn
right
it,
now.
At least boycott Thanksgiving buying. That sucks for people who work those days.
Yeah, for
It
sure. I
sucks.
think that's true,
just
but
I
also
worked in retail.
they
and,
just
like,
they've opened up the gates a lot earlier. You might get those like super crazy days
Yeah.
the day of, but generally they're just like, dude, it's a fire sale. So
no
come
deal
get
is
it.
worth crazy.
Yeah. So that's what's up. We'll come back next week. Maybe we'll talk some of the Black Friday deals that we were interested in or acted upon, and we'll come back with.
It'll be Cyber Monday. Look at that.
It'll be
Oh.
Cyber Monday. Hell yeah! Maybe
There's
we'll do
always
some.
a deal.
Maybe we'll do some purchasing on the show. Make it real crazy.
We'll just pull up deals and see if Rocky can beat him.
Yeah, we tried that, and then he doesn't even. He like acts like we don't know what he's talking about. Whenever we call him out, he acts like we don't know what we're talking about. Son of a bitch.
You're just gonna have to come back and find out.
But yeah, so next week we be doing that. We'll talk some things. Talk about the holiday festivals, this or that, whatever.
Mhm.
A lot of video games gonna get played over that weekend.
A lot of
because
hobby games are gonna have
we ain't
special
gonna be doing
events.
shit. So yeah, I'm expecting some family orientated games, some Mario
Right.
Karts, stuff.
Have you
stuff
done
like
Luigi's
that.
Mansion 3 yet?
No, but I saw it. And I almost bought it.
I've been hearing great stuff. A lot of people having fun playing it.
So yeah,
Me my
and
friends
look, that's
did, had a
I'm
good
looking
time.
for some deals. I'm looking for some deals. I'm
That's a
looking for some
family fun game.
online deal games to download the day of. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I do. But
And you know what? Nintendo's been killing that. They keep hitting me with like their news. They'll tell you get specials for owning one game. You'll get a deal on another.
yeah,
I got like 90% off one indie game because I
Oh,
own
yeah.
a different one.
hell yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's dope.
We got more coming.
But I'm trying to think what games we'll be talking about next week.
Yeah.
We'll probably just brush up on the shit that we've been playing here. I'm
I'll
going to be playing a
probably
lot of
give an
more
update.
Jedi, Fallen Order. But to be honest, Death Stranding has sparked me playing Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pains again and Nier Automata. So we might be talking some old school stuff and bringing it back and just kind of reliving the glory on some older games that we enjoyed.
Right before Pokemon, I was getting back onto some of those dungeon crawlers, and I got a couple
Destiny,
new ones.
Destiny.
When's that update?
No,
Do you know?
but Shadowkeep is on sale for $20 or something.
Oh shit!
It's $20. It's 40.
Oh.
It's 40-something% off.
That's that.
Yeah,
that
right now. So you're talking about a year worth of shit that was normally $40 or $60 if you needed the whole package. I'm not really sure. I think it's.
What was it for the entire year? Yeah.
I think it's
thought it was
it's
60 for the whole year.
35. So it's $40. It's 40% off. So it's $40, or it's 28 something. What is
Look
it?
at that.
Let me look it up now. We gotta confirm this.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I
We gotta
appreciate
confirm this shit
because
for
hey,
you
you might
guys.
be swinging me soon. Especially,
We gotta
so you
confirm
were
this
talking
shit.
there were some balance updates coming.
Oh my gosh, so many
And
updates.
one of those was improvements to my Dawnblade class.
Yeah,
Woo!
so really,
Talking, I would play that like dash in the air bullshit.
You're
I was
getting
like
two
aerial
Icarus,
hunter.
2 Icarus, you're gonna
ultimate.
be able to eat a grenade. So you used to only be able to eat the grenade as a void subclass. So now
Yeah.
they did. Now you can eat one in the arc subclass, which like grants like, what's the one that used to shoot the arc
The
bolt?
little arc souls.
Yeah, arc soul. So it
you
grants
can,
arc
You
soul
can soak a
off
grenade
a
to have your own arc
yeah.
soul.
Yeah, off the arc soul, and then now it's in the
I wonder if you can have two.
the solar subclass where you can eat the grenade and then you get the assisted accuracy in the air bonus for a designated set of time and something else.
And just to like
pretty
update that, that's because in Dawnblade class, it's the only class you can shoot while actually using your jetpack. You know, your jets, your double jump.
Right.
And that class is all built around if you kill things while in the air, you recharge all your classes.
Yeah, and they
you
let
gain
that
extra
fall
things
short.
for
They let
shooting.
that fall short, and they're cleaning that up and
Mhm.
bringing it in, like
And
as
a
a viable
double-
option
so-
in the game.
For PvP play for me, like I would play this class because you can move like a hunter in the air, especially if you didn't worry, you got high mobility, so you can and you do strafe glide, so you can just like kind of swoop in the air, and you can even low hover, but you have that dodge. You just have to be in the air. But now hearing that there are 2 dodges, game changer.
So
legit.
the digital deluxe version is $60. So there's the other version. Hold on, let me confirm this.
But the digital deluxe includes the whole year and the Shadow
Right,
Keep
so you can
update.
get, like I said, so you
it's
can
the
get Shadow
season
Keep
pass
update
and
for
the-
$20.
and the update.
You can get the Shadow Keep update for $20
But you can get it all for 60.
for 44
For 44?
right now.
Okay.
So
That's
it's $44 for everything.
Yeah.
Right now, the digital deluxe version, it's $40 normally for just the Shadow Keep buy-in, and that's 40-something% off, so it's $20-something. So,
Just get the
check it
full
out.
thing.
yeah,
Get
check
the
it
full
out.
thing.
But yeah, so we're gonna end it here. Like I said, we'll be back next week. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving,
Woo.
and otherwise that, we out. Now we out.